Hello there. My name is Fork, as in the fork and spoon. Today, I want to talk about capitalism. There seems to be a recent trend of people online proclaiming that capitalism is bad. It is not hard to find Reddit comments, Twitter posts, or so-called socialists blaming all of their financial woes on capitalism. It is a mess. The more you dig into it, you will realize that people like to describe capitalism differently. Some will equate capitalism with just the use of money, like your $8 acai. Some will think of billionaires in space, while others use it as a general insult for the American economy. So, what exactly is capitalism? If all of modern society's financial problems can be blamed on it, I want to have a clear idea of what it is so that we can find a solution for it. Now, this is a continuation of my previous video, so be sure to check that out first. According to the most trustworthy site on the internet, Wikipedia, it states that capitalism is an economic system based on the private ownership of the means of production and their use for the purpose of obtaining profit. By Wikipedia's definition, there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with capitalism. Plenty of countries have run on capitalism and have done just fine. And it doesn't mean that everyone's buying super yachts or throwing million-dollar parties. On the other side, you often have conservatives decrying socialism, conflating it with the sickle and hammer. Yet socialism, defined as an economic and political philosophy involving social ownership of the means of production, doesn't mean throwing all the bourgeoisies into concentration camps. In reality, every nation operates on a mixed economic model with varying degrees of success. So, I don't think it is right to say that one is inherently right or wrong. But if capitalism isn't inherently evil, then why is it increasingly hated on the internet? So here is my take. When people say capitalism is bad, what they really mean is American capitalism is bad. To be specific, it is the way profit is being chased. If companies truly love profit, they would focus on long-term sustainable growth. But in the current modern economy, executives seem to prioritize short-term growth, such as immediate shareholder returns, inflated bonuses, or share buybacks. It is really reminiscent of Aesop's fable, gutting the golden goose for immediate eggs. The current system is where executives are rewarded and thus encouraged to pursue short-term growth to the detriment of everyone else if they wish to become obscenely rich. This suggests that American capitalism isn't about profit, but about personal wealth extraction. So, why is personal wealth beyond financial security such an obsession in America? In my humble opinion, extreme consumerism. After World War II, America remained as the sole surviving economic superpower and became the world's manufacturing hub. As Americans become richer, brands learned to sell not just products, but self-image. This started from the Marlboro Man and continued with slogans like "Have it your way" from Burger King. They exploited America's "my money, my choice" mentality, linking buying to freedom, choice, self-identity, and the American dream. By promoting materialism, it then helped to drive consumerism, which, in turn, helped to drive the global economy. Over time, consumption became a form of identity. Owning an iPhone, driving an Italian-sounding sports car, or flaunting designer brands. Cause there's nothing more special than a self-made millionaire and appearing in Forbes. What do you mean by insider trading? I'm just a very good investor. Oh woo! At its root, this all comes from America's obsession with individualism, baked right into the Constitution. Brands saw an opportunity and milked it with the whole "my money, my choice" mentality, and pushed the idea that you are self-made, totally free, and owe nothing to anyone. And as a result, you now have a nation of materialistic obsessed freaks proudly maxing out credit cards to prove that they are living the life. And yet, many countries including communist China encourage such consumeristic practices, though to a far lesser extent than that of the US, as a nation that consumes more does have its benefits. A nation that consumes more not only encourages economic growth, but also motivates its population to work more. Because how can you afford to go to Disneyland if you have no money to do so? And so, encouraging consumption is one of the best ways for nation building. It is just when strong individualism collides with increasing materialism what you get is supercharged consumerism. This shows that while individualism has its strengths, it is also a double-edged sword, making Americans uniquely much more susceptible to marketing, forever fueling their insatiable appetite for more. Additionally, thanks to social media, and with America at the center of the global economy, this materialistic mindset has spread worldwide through celebrities and influencers. Online, flex culture has become the norm and a marker of being part of the cool crowd, while those who reject it are increasingly seen as a minority. This is why when self-proclaimed socialists like her son engage in consumeristic practices, it is seen as hypocritical, as it is such consumeristic practices that lead to income inequality in the first place. By that same logic, does that make Esmond a socialist? This is why China has been trying to curb such materialistic ideas. Income inequality and corruption is already a huge issue in China, and it could get so much worse. But despite their great firewall, American individualistic and materialistic ideology seems to be leaking through. The internet has only further isolated people and made them lonelier, making online retail therapy more and more popular, as Labubu and OnlyFans models sweep across the internet. So, should we just cancel individualism? Probably not. Every system has trade-offs. Japan and Scandinavia show that you can moderate consumerism through culture and social norms, like the law of Yante, which discourages flexing. But they have their own problems too, like aging populations or social rigidity. In fact, in Japan, they have the opposite issue, where they just can't get its citizens to spend. The real challenge in America is finding a balance between individual freedom with a sense of community good. Conservatives push a strong emphasis on American individualism, which, ironically, clashes with their Christian-inspired talk about family and community. Meanwhile, liberals champion ever more individualistic identities, while also demanding the majority to give up certain rights to protect the minority. So everyone wants freedom, they just disagree on what should be given up for it. Until America figures that out, its version of capitalism will keep pumping out the same problems. More inequality, more empty spending, and more people like me ranting about it on YouTube. In the end, the real problem isn't capitalism. It is about how we have let American-style consumerism twist it into a game of endless spending and fake freedom. Is there a simple fix? If I knew a solution, I would be writing policies instead of YouTube videos. But it starts with asking better questions about what we really value and what we're willing to trade to get it. Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Subscribe if you want to hear more yapping, because subscribing, now that's true freedom.